Well, good evening, guys. This is Chris, Copperhead Modeling. Last couple days, I haven't done anything because I had commitments with the medical departments and taking care of family. So, I finally got my body sealed up. As you can tell by the white, problems with some seams. The belly of it looks pretty good. Had a bad problem last night because it crashed. My 3-year-old daughter come running through the dining room. Her book, she threw her book on the edge of the table and hit the table, which means she hit the book. And it ran into a plate, which ran into something else, which ran into something else, which ran into something else. And my PBY was sitting over here or sitting on top of something where I could make sure it would sit. And it went slap off and hit the ground. Luckily, all it did was break the front seam, but that crash, I thought it was done. Unfortunately, I've got to get some flat black because I don't have any. So I've got all my radar antennas on here finally. I don't know how well you can see them, but there's a little one here. There's a little one and a big one, and then a pitot tube, and then a big one and a little one and another little one. And then there's one right there, and there's one right there. Now, there's 2 little strips there that I don't know what they are. By the end of this meeting, I told Max, by the end of this meeting, I are going to probably be the most knowledgeable people around about PBYs. It's just one of them things. I'm going to be starting with my diorama for mine. I got to get some figures for it because I don't even have pilot figures for this one. I mean, you can see here on the end, if you look at it, that seam actually came out really nice. The seams down the leading edges, I just very lightly sanded the leading edges to rough them up a little bit, and then that one came out really nice too. As far as going together, this kit was pretty good. I sanded the top of this, getting ready for, after I paint it black, I'm gonna take care of that. It's just everything that I've had to learn about PBYs and the different models and different paint jobs and the different units, and figuring out there were 10 squadrons of these things doing this mission. Made for a headache in itself. But like Max said, he's doing the Revell kit and I'm doing the Academy kit. But in all honesty, I think the Revell kit's better as far as accuracy, because Max actually had the frames around his waist blisters. This one just has this. No frame. No correct marking on here for a frame. It's just this. And I'm gonna mask these off and tape and paint them along with my greenhouse. And this thing's gonna be fun because I don't know if you can see all the lines on it. very well. There you can see them. There's a lot of small windows, and a lot of that's going to be black. Now you see this little hole in the middle. It doesn't go all the way through, but if you made the late version, it had a radome mounted right on top of the cockpit, right between the props. And where Max was talking about how close the props get, they were spinning within a foot of this radome. So this thing was had to be perfectly placed, or one of the props is going to take it out. One thing that this kit has that Max's didn't is, I think I've already said something about it, it's got vinyl tires. So my tires are already rubber. So that's going to be nice. The wheels, I'm going to paint them all separate, because the front wheel was still gray. Where it goes up into the body, it wouldn't show up as black. And Max was talking about the wheel wells being blacked out. And when I found the squadron for this one, which I can't remember for sure what the squadron was. I looked it up several times. But one of the funny things about the PBY, which I have discovered through this, is the wingspan is within a couple of inches of this being the same wingspan as a B-17. But the size, the length of it is nowhere near the same. The wingspan's 104 foot 3 inches, which I think the B-17's 104 foot 4 or 104 foot 5. And the length is only 64 and a half feet. So and I did the VFP 104, where they had a modified front turret on a lot of their PBYs. And it's a twin gun turret instead of a single gun turret. I don't know what Max's has, but there's what structure my internal on my lookout bay. I don't know if you can see in there well enough to see the walkway, but there's a walkway in there that they put between the gunner's walks, because those are semicircular. It's very interesting. Now I had to paint my weights green because the last few windows here you'd be able to see them. This window and this window you'd be able to see them. So if I'm remembering right, it was VFP 104, but they said the wheel wells were zinc chromate, but the landing gear itself was black. So this is going to be the bane of my existence as far as getting things right. I couldn't believe the gun plates were olive drab. I had to look that up 4 or 5 different times, but the gun plates on most of them were olive drab, because they were the gun plates that they used on some modified gun trucks that they were using to help clear out enemy concentrations. So I'm going to try and get this painted flat black either tomorrow or the next day, whenever I can get to Hobby Lobby and pick up some flat black. Because unfortunately, where he has Hurricane Hobbies, I don't. I have Hobby Lobby or a 2.5 hour drive to the nearest actual hobby shop. And don't get me wrong, I've done it before. And I want to do a video from that hobby shop like he does with Ian. But I'm getting there. My diorama is going to be like mine's returning from a mission. Max has his with all weapons hanging, and mine's going to be returning from a mission. And my hope is to have a tractor sitting there with a bomb cart where the guys are loading the bombs on the cart, and having other stuff around for it to be assembled. I'm gonna have to dig through my kits because I don't know how much I've got as far as 1/72nd, because I don't have a lot of 1/72nd models. I mainly do 1/48. I'm gonna have to see what I can find of 1/72nd scale bombs and stuff. And the one I saw about the way this unit loaded it, it had a 500 pound, 1,000 pound, and then a torpedo. So they could come in, get down where the fighters wouldn't go because it was too close to the water, and at night water's hard to see when you get down close to it. But these things were equipped with radar altimeters, and they were some of the first radar altimeters used. So, you guys have a good day, have a good night. May the Styrene River forever flow in your favor. Yes, I modified that from Hunger Games. I thought it was neat. This is Chris with Copperhead Modeling. God bless and keep y'all safe. And remember also, build it how you want it to be, or you'll never be happy with it. Good night.